into every game just hit a new low. Let's get it, man.
Another series of layoffs in the Western video game industry. It's a tale as old as time, but this time it's Fortnite?
Fortnite.
They're laying off people at Fortnite? Really? That's right, folks. Times are tough these days, real tough, especially if you make $6 billion a year.
Dang.
That's what they made in 2025, Epic Games, and you know they
just 2025, $6 billion. That's what. Damn.
$1 billion a year.
That's crazy.
That's what they made in 2025, Epic Games, and you know they might as well just be in the gutter, puking on themselves, you know, falling into trash cans, eating garbage. They've truly hit rock bottom and can barely afford to keep the lights on anymore. I mean, they're going bankrupt. And that's why, in order to save just a little bit more money, they have laid off over 1,000.
That's bad, though. That's bad.
That's what they made in 20. Especially if you.
Bro, that's not bad, bro.
$6 billion.
Bro, that's not bad, bro. That's supposed to be making more than that or something.
That's what they made in 2020. Falling into afford to keep the lights on anymore. I mean, they're going bankrupt. And that's why, in order to save just a little bit more money, they have laid off over 1,000 employees, some of whom were instrumental in the success of Fortnite. We're talking guys who designed some of the most iconic skins in the game. Guys who designed some of the most iconic
Okay, for not include artists who designed
skins in the game. Skins that even I know, and I don't play Fortnite.
Wait, only Jonesy?
To show you that no good deed goes unpunished.
That's not good, bro.
And what makes the timing of this exceptionally suspect, well, it's always suspect, but they recently raised the price on V-Bucks. I shit you not, their reasoning for it was due to operating costs. Check this out. The cost of running Fortnite has gone up a lot, and we're raising prices to help pay the bills. This is literally almost up a lot, and we're raising prices to help pay the bills. This is literally on their website. It's just, we need help paying the bills. They're not even trying to lie anymore, man. I'm greedy. You know who else has been trying to pay the bills? Microsoft and Xbox and Nvidia and basically every tech company, because everything is, they're raising the prices. I like how this is it. The cost of running Fortnite has gone up a lot. It's like such a juvenile sentence, if you know what I mean. Lacks any reasoning or professionalism or detail. Just, we need more money. Plain and simple. Give us more money. But first, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Chime. Help you
money, man.
Check is a 300 sponsors, and we've seen layoffs across
completely different.
One has to wonder. We've seen layoffs across a number of different studios and publishers, and we've seen completely shut down. But if Fortnite, Epic Games is not safe, genuinely, where are you safe? You're not anywhere in the game industry. Unless you're at the top and you make all the decisions about who gets fired, and nobody can decide if you get
I thought it was already known, though.
Fired or not. That's where you want to be, top of the ladder, so you can push that sucker down like Leon and then jump out the window. I always love how when companies announce like price increases or mass layoffs, they always have to package it with this sort of like, guys, we really need money, but things are looking great. Yes, we're firing 1,000 employees, and there's amazing things on the horizon. In any case, Tim, you could pay all 1,000 employees $100K salary a year and still have $5 billion left. No, we got to get rid of you. I need more money.
That's insane. Bro, $6 billion a year, bro. That's insane, bro.
Reminding you of this Satoru Iwata quote. If we reduce
so you're automatically a billionaire right
number of employees for better short-term financial results, employee morale will decrease. I sincerely doubt employees who fear that they may be laid off will be able to develop software titles that could impress people around the world. We don't think like that over here. We think immediate short-term gain. And I really hate that mentality because while it seems like Nintendo has never been doing better just in terms of financial success, you don't hear about layoffs at Nintendo. You know what I mean? When was the last time Nintendo laid people off? They don't do that over there. We need to adopt that kind of culture. It's not just the people that get laid off and how that's kind of fucked up to them, and then, you know, 1,000 people having to find a new job in the game industry. It's like bleeding all of that talent, shattering company morale. And also, what does it say to everyone else that works in the game industry, in the Western game industry, when it's like, you created one of the most important Fortnite skins, like you helped build this company to a point where it's making $6 billion a year, and we gotta let you go. It really doesn't inspire much faith in the industry, or, you know, for younger generations to want to be game designers, at least to get jobs with some of these AAA publishers, right? It just seems like the indie scene has never been doing better for obvious reasons. Now, this post is obviously being a little hyperbolic, but it's meant to point out just the sheer absurdity of the disparity between his sole singular net worth and all of these people who got laid off for undefined reasons. But speaking of, I think someone should do a study on the correlation between enshittification and billionaireism. I feel like both of these conditions are intertwined. Everything is getting worse and more expensive, and a handful of rich a-holes are getting obnoxiously more and more wealthy. And it's like, and everyone's raising prices, and everyone's getting laid off.
Something price raises for...
But things have never been better.
Raising everything.
Is there anyone not raising prices right now? Like anyone besides Valve and Costco? By the way, up here, that's our Pacific Northwest hospitality right there. You're welcome for Valve and Costco and that Kirkland signature. Anyway, sorry to go all communist on you, but the greed of Tim Sweeney was insatiable. So the gaming gods placed upon him a terrible curse. In every picture, his face would shrink and his neck would get fatter. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I don't typically like to make fun of people's appearances, but fuck this guy. By the way, I found this Reddit post. It just says "fuck Epic" for dummies. A quick breakdown, mind you, and compiling what looks to be about 40 different links. So yeah, we'll put that in the description below if you want to check this out. Now let's see what Epic had to say. This note was sent to Epic employees. This was March 24th, so a few days ago. Today we're laying off over 1,000 Epic employees. I'm sorry we're here again.
They really
Me too.
They do not be caring, bro.
I'm sorry we're here again. Hey, sorry. What the fuck, man? The downturn in Fortnite engagement that started in 2025 means we're spending significantly more than we're making. You made $6 billion in 2020.
Saying, like, bro, how much money do you need to, bro? How much is it, bro? 6 billion, bro, not million, billion.
Though.
What?
These corporate responses are always so easy to just tear apart because they're trying to justify the unjustifiable. They're trying to rationalize that which can't really be rationalized. It's all a cover for greed at the end of the day. And we have to make major cuts to keep the company funded. $5.5 billion just isn't enough, guys. I only have 12 yachts. I want 13. This layoff, together with over $500 million of identified cost savings in contracting, marketing, and closing some open roles, puts us in a more stable place. You see, nowhere does it say what the actual cost of running Fortnite is. Right? Because what are your profit margins? Do we know? The downturn in Fortnite engagement, dog, it says in 2025, Epic Game Store achieved record growth. 1.16 billion spent by users, a 6% increase. And you're saving 500 million more dollars? How? What are these cost savings? Contracting, marketing? Dude, someone posted, they really did fire the marketing team. Why the fuck are they shooting at trees? Yeah, they announced a Lola Bunny skin.
What the hell, man? Bro, they do not care at all, bro.
Yeah, why are they shooting it?
Bro, what the hell? Whoa, what the? Bro, why you shooting at the tree?
Why are they shooting at trees? That is really funny.
Oh, hell no, bro. They couldn't get somebody to like stand in the street and shoot, bro.
Hey, what the fuck? Okay, so just as a side, You
Hell
know,
no.
I don't really think about this when it comes to marketing, but you know how you, if you watch a Call of Duty trailer or a Halo trailer or really any first-person shooter, Battlefield, it's heavily scripted to show off the most cinematic.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So why didn't they have somebody just like? They could have had an AI just sitting in the street. You could shoot at. They didn't do that.
Gameplay, right? That's kind of like you don't think about it from a gamer's perspective. You're just kind of like, oh, that looks cool. But when they don't do that and it's just Lola Bunny shooting trees and, you know, you'd expect more action or something. Also, this is a very dangerous skin to add for millennials. So yeah, they clearly fired their marketing team. Some of the challenges we're facing are industry-wide challenges: slower growth, weaker spending, and tougher cost economics. Current consoles selling less than last generations, and games competing for time against other increasingly engaging forms of entertainment. You say slower growth and weaker spending, but that just does not. At the end of the day, you made $6 billion in 2025, so it's like the arrow not only has to go up, it has to go up way more. I really hate this mentality because honestly, like, any growth is good, in my opinion. Despite Fortnite remaining one of the most successful games in the world, we've had challenges delivering consistent Fortnite magic with every season. Is that true? I don't play Fortnite. How have the updates been? We're only in the early stages of returning to mobile and optimizing Fortnite for the world's billions of smartphones, and in being the industry's vanguard, we have taken a lot of bullets in a battle, which is only in the early days of paying off for ourselves and all developers. All developers except the ones we laid off. Also, yeah, this is... God, I just wish companies could be honest and not always have to write bullshit PR speak for shareholders, right? It's, yeah, we've had challenges, but we're optimizing Fortnite for billions of smartphones. We've taken a lot of bullets. We're the industry vanguard. We're so great. And this is going to pay off for all of us. Keep investing. Since it's a thing now, I should note that the layoffs aren't related to AI. So that probably means they are. To the extent it improves productivity, we want to have as many awesome developers developing great content and tech as we can. We want as many as we can,
but you're laying them off
for these 1,000. Just
interesting.
What we need to do now is clear. Build awesome Fortnite experiences with fresh seasonal content. Accelerate developer tools without the developers who know how to use them. With greater stability and capability as we evolve from UE5 to UEFN to UE6. We've got huge launch plans towards the end of the year. This isn't our first time being here. Epic survived upheavals in the 90s with the move from 2D to 3D. Dog, that was... Okay. Like 3 decades ago. I mean, what does this have to do with now? This is not recent. You're talking about the 90s and 2012. Each time we rebuilt our foundations and earned a renewed leadership position. So you're rebuilding your foundation, is what you're saying. I don't know if that's a good thing. At Epic, we pride ourselves in only hiring the industry's best. So it is very painful to part with so many talented people. The folks impacted by the layoffs will receive a severance package that includes at least 4 months of base pay, with more based on tenure. We're also extending Epic paid healthcare coverage. We'll have a company meeting Thursday to talk about the roadmap in more detail. So, pretty awful response here from Tim. Really not convincing in the slightest. Again, all these posts are really just written for shareholders. A regular, gaming fan is going to read this and just be like, yeah, it's just nonsense. So I want to check out this article from Polygon. Epic layoffs are a bad sign, analyst says. If Fortnite can't make it, what chance do other games have? According to statistics database Statista, Epic Games generated $6 billion, and Fortnite continues to top the charts for player engagement.
That's crazy. You make $6 billion, then you lay off 1,000 people, bro. Like, what? Imagine, bro. Oh my goodness.
On both PlayStation and Xbox. Quote, we have seen a dip in average hours per US Fortnite players across both PlayStation and Xbox consoles. However, it remains the game with the highest monthly active user base across both platforms. So, just excuse me for 1 second. 1 second here, folks. You are the most played game on Xbox and PlayStation, and it's still not enough. Man, this guy fucking sucks. This Tim Sweeney bastard. Why is every tech CEO just some greedy old bastard who's never happy with the ridiculous amounts of money he has? So whatever downturn they're talking about isn't enough to knock it below the #1 spot. on
Always the
PlayStation and
money,
Xbox.
bro.
Sweeney also says, we're spending
More
significantly
money.
more than we're making. Literally how? How? Show your work. What math have you done to come to this conclusion? What are you spending over $6 billion on? In the past, Sweeney has been conspicuously nonchalant about losing hundreds of millions of dollars on the Epic Games Store in order to win back market share from Steam. Now let's take a look at his Twitter response. Sad news for Epic Games. Hope the efforts to turn things around can work. This comes from Dean Takahashi, who, if memory serves, was the Cuphead developer. Tim says, in the coming days, employers will see a stream of resumes of once-in-a-lifetime quality folks. An important thing to understand is that Epic never lowered our hiring standards as we grew, and the layoff wasn't a performance-based right-sizing, as companies call it nowadays. It's a sound bet that anyone with Epic Games on their resume is in the top few % of their discipline. And I said, these once-in-a-lifetime employees were so incredible that we fired them all. So Epic has no respect for its talented workforce, that's what you're saying? Enlightening stuff, Tim. Mega Ratio.
No, that nigga didn't.
Mega Ratio. Go follow me on Twitter, by the way.
Shit.
Link in the description. And if you enjoy this content, you're not already subscribed, subscribe to Actman TV. Click that subscribe button. Fuck off, you sack of shit.
Sound like PewDiePie.
I love these memes where it's just some guy shooting himself and their competitor just...
Bruh.
You cutting 5% of your salary would be 100 times what Iwata lost financially, and I bet it's even more. I'm sorry, but today you've completely ruined Epic and Fortnite's reputation. You can't just lay off over 1,000 employees, many of whom had been with the company for more than 7 years or were exceptionally talented. You've made a huge mistake, and you're only going to end up losing everything you've built. One can only hope. Yeah, it's just this dichotomy of because you can't come out and say like, oh yeah, we fired these employees because they were all worthless pieces of shit and we wanted to save money. But it's just interesting how they always have to spin it the same way. We're laying off these people. We're not going to say anything bad about them because how would that make us look? But we obviously don't give a shit enough to just keep them on the payroll, keep them doing what they're doing. This comes from Alex Moore. Oh, he blocked me. A lot of sorries today, hearing about how talented we all are, how thankful people are. All of it is really supportive. The thing I'm hating is people saying they can't wait to see what I do next. I already was doing what I wanted. I don't want another job. I wanted my job. That's profound. This, I think, is important to look at the people affected by this. Like, of course, we're going to villainize Tim. He's the bad guy in this situation. But it's important to highlight the victims and, like, how this affects them on a personal level. Fortnite staff who survived yesterday's layoffs say they're unable to comprehend the impact on the game's future this year and beyond. Holy shit. That is not a good sign. Yes. What? What comes next is very hard and painful. Vitaly Nemushin, a character art director who designed some of Fortnite's earliest characters, including its default mascot, Jonesy, was also laid off. As was Devin Connors, the long-standing community manager at Rocket League studio Psyonix. Fortnite gameplay producer Robbie Williams, who survived the layoffs, described yesterday as a brutal day at Epic. What comes next is very hard and painful for those now jobless, but also the company's remaining staff who will push on without 1,000 of their colleagues. Like, that's crazy. 1,000 people. How many of those
even work
in the
there?
office? Like I said, just complete restructuring of company culture and values and how that affects morale. We cannot even fully understand what kind of impacts this will have on the game for the rest of the year and likely beyond. Please be patient with us as we navigate this tough time and do our best in spite of these truly gut-wrenching losses. So it doesn't really sound like even those still working at Epic are happy about these layoffs. Yeah, this comes from Evan Kinney. Guess who got laid off today? I am genuinely so confused and bewildered. Like, I spent the past week debugging the rivalry system while recovering from pneumonia. And just in the past few days, I've had multiple directors tell me how much they appreciate everything I do. Fucking wild, man. 126,000 likes. I had done so much for this company and our game. So many late nights, so many weekends, so many live events and competitive events and new features and new seasons. Solid performance reviews every time, with multiple people mentioning how critical I am and what an impact I make across multiple teams. Just to be thrown out, I don't get it. Insane. Insane.
Bro, imagine helping a game grow, bro, just for you to get fired, bro. That's what I don't understand. It's like, dang, bro.
2,000 likes on a follow-up tweet. It's just, you don't get it because you're not a greedy asshole. And this is, I think, what I truly despise.
You made a game so much money, can't do nothing about it. You just get fired, bro.
eyes about our culture
that
is
shit
that
sucks.
the worker is not valued anymore. The trade and the discipline and the skill that one has to develop, it's just not valued anymore. At least it doesn't appear to be in the AAA gaming space. That's why AA gaming and indie is the way moving forward, because all these fucking AAA publishers and studios they're all killing themselves. I don't know why.
Well, I know why. It's insatiable greed. It's that curse of the Aztec gold.
Jonesy, by the way, like, you should recognize this character even if you have not played Fortnite.
Yeah.
He's literally been on the main menu like forever. Yeah, you can see the responses down below. This is so fucked. I'm genuinely sorry. You got fucking laid off. What are they doing? I'm sorry to hear this. This is the state of AAA gaming, and while it may seem like everything is getting worse and shittier, well, it is. But indie and AA gaming is going strong. I think in Europe and Asia is where a lot of the games that I'm interested in are being produced. It seems like just American game developers in general, like EA is going to be bought out by Saudi Arabia. Xbox is down the shitter. There's just something wrong with our culture where we just don't game that I'm interested in general, like EA is gonna
52 billion.
be bought out by Saudi Arabia. Xbox is down the shitter. There's just something wrong with our culture where we just don't value the talent anymore. Everyone's disposable. Everyone. And that's not how businesses should be run, and that's not how gaming companies should be run, because it ends up with worse products and everyone's unhappy. So Epic Games has fallen off quite tremendously here, really shooting themselves in the face, and once again, Gabe Newell does nothing and wins. So what do you think about the recent Epic Games layoffs? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to Ackman TV for more awesome content. All right, everyone, that's all I got for today. This is the Fortnite.